everyone, Shelv here of the Wanderbots, and welcome to Citizen Sleeper. This is a game by Jump Over the Age and published by Fellow Traveler, and they were so kind to give us a key. And this game, it's really intriguing. It looks like it's kind of a text-based narrative adventure, and you have a number of decisions to make, and you are some kind of fabricated being that was a worker in this futuristic civilization, and you escape, you're rendered obsolete. Something occurs that grants you some mode of freedom on this space station. And yeah, I'm curious to see where the story will take us and what it entails. I always love when games really explore their setting and their world building, and I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to do so. So let's start a new game. Empty slot. Oh, we can choose a character class. So we have an operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Perk, transfer, intercept. Chance to gain cryo on interface actions. So cryo would be maybe something like a freeze or a slowdown. So we have engineering at 0, but interface +1, endure is -1. Use strength or strength of will. Intuit, approach problems with awareness. Engage, approach problems head on. So this is a little bit more aggressive. This is a little bit more mind cerebral. So, yeah. So, strength or strength of will would be low. But working with digital interfaces would be high. And there's the drone. Oh, and I can't tell if they're completely a machine or if they're a cyborg of some sort. Interesting. So we have the extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. So they have more endure, but less intuit. Not really my kind of character class. Oh, sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. Interesting. I prefer to have something in the lines of engineering or being able to work with others. I don't know if there's necessarily one that's about charisma. Are these the only two? Yeah, so the operator and the extractor. Unless, oh no, there is one more. The machinist. Machinist repairs and modifies automated systems using industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to the machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. So they work with machines and physical tools, but they don't like to engage. And it looks like we can't change these. It'd be interesting if you can make custom characters too. Yeah, so I think I'm going to work with the operator. Though, strength of will. Working with digital interfaces. I don't know. This would be good for things like hacking. Yeah, so wouldn't be able to engage, but they can work with machines and physical tools? I don't know. I suppose I'm being reminded of Knights of the Old Republic, where being able to hack robots and computer interfaces was really integral. Yeah, so I don't think the extractor is my kind of play style. I think I'm going to go with the operator for now. Let's start game. There's their number system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Little hexagons. Unknown. Where are you? The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting, minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. Cryo, cryptocurrency store on air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Data and items. It's at its worst when waking, when your self has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body, or forget that body. I don't know, this is if we want to stay, I suppose, in that state of non-being, but let's think of the body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. An emergency mode pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling of nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Ooh, interesting. So, pain, as it were, but just being experienced as a bunch of notifications as opposed to actual sensation. So there's remember the plan or remember the others. So the plan maybe is a mission, but the others, who are they? You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Oh, so they were indentured servants, and they're trying to escape. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even in the airless cold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Oh, so they were probably working on some asteroid mine or a penal colony or something. But they were trying to get to a freighter to escape. Wait for the cold or try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You've been reserving energy as much as possible, but even then your body has shut many of its systems down to protect you. You spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again, recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Is there a crash? What's going on? Then light. White is the cold. Then softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Ooh. Dragos. Pragmatic salvager? Oh. Dragos, a pragmatic and private salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. Oh, look. He is a drone too. Looks like an old man. Maybe he has... I don't know if this is just a cybernetic arm or if it's something attached to him. Huh. Interesting. Has a water bottle of some sort. Optics. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships. Some corroded beyond recognition. Others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges, where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, are you thawed yet? Almost, or stay silent. Sure, almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance on Sub-Zero back. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks of my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Yep, there it is. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. So there's stay silent, what happened to them? I plan to survive. Well, of course we do. I'll ask what happened to them. He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body? That's theirs now. And you are just software. A rogue emulation. Illegally possessing corporate property. Oh, so... our character, these sleepers, they sold their physical bodies to a corporation. Then they work as indentured servants in these mechanical bodies. And yeah, if you escape in that way, the mind is yours, but the body is the corporation's. Ugh. It reminds me of the science fiction films where you just have these discs that you transfer from one body to another, and you might not be able to even find your old body again, and your old body can be sublet to other people. I wonder if what the corporations do with those bodies. Maybe it's one of those things where they have, elderly billionaires that want to experience youth again, and so they essentially upload themselves into empty bodies just so that they can experience that. Yeah, oh, interesting. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet, as you padded into the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. Oh, that is true. If people have their minds copied over to some kind of interface, unless you have them working in concert, that you kind of have something interfaced with you and your mind is working on both, there's definitely a delineation, or there would be a delineation between the copy and the original. That, yeah, the copy might function in a way similar to the original mind. Obviously, this is all hypothetical for future tech, but yeah, it would essentially be a clone. Except a clone would be genetic versus the mind, because twins are essentially clones, and they develop into very different people based on their experiences, and yeah, so in any case. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S&R wants to protect their property. But if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. So, to destroy them, essentially. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? I mean, technically, biologically, humans and most creatures have, yes, not a planned obsolescence per se, but they begin to break down. However, in the case with things like computers and smartphones and other devices, there's been studies that say, yeah, they can last for years and years. But that, if they want to sell a product, then the companies have to make something that'll wear out or that you want to replace. But I suppose in this case, the planned obsolescence would mean that their workers wouldn't be able to function long outside of their indentured servitude. Yeah, how long do you have? But for now, Sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away, toward the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station! You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container that I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. I think that's probably hope. Nod. All right. You head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back to the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Yep, gotta cut up those ships. Tutorial Introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container located to rest and end the cycle now. Recycle energy condition. Ah, interesting. It is true that if our character is slowly dwindling away, or their energy is being spent, or they have this planned obsolescence, maybe they'll have to replace parts and find other means to repair themselves. We'll have to see. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. All right. 4 steel walls, the container. You wait curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one that you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Escape? Getting answers? Building a life? Well, yes, escape, because they're probably going to still be hunting you. Getting answers? What answers, though? A means to get back your body? Building a life? With the current body that you have? Might be difficult, but I think that, yeah, survival is a priority at the moment. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll that you slept on, a canister of water, A makeshift electric stove and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. Oh, so maybe some kind of tea or soup or broth or something. You thumb the powder stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images of your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking that they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. All right. Condition, action, dice, and energy. Yeah, it's almost like a tabletop game, so that'll be interesting. Condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions in the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the less dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot make any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. So it's like how much energy you can put forward. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but you'll have to find somewhere to get food and currency to buy it. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you'll be starving, and your condition will deplete at double rate per cycle. Ooh, yes. So what do we have here? Flickering. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and... Unless that he's saying good to hear and the drone is like beep. Could be. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Yeah, I suppose the work would be the salvage. Sure. All right then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech and something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is just scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Yeah, chits would be currency. These, he pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. That's what we used to trade out here. He stuffs them back in his pocket. So essentially money. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't actually do this. In my opinion, you'd best be suited for moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me in the yard, he pauses, I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Is he in debt to someone? Perhaps. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. So we have Drago's yard, a decaying scrapyard. All right. Actions are the primary way to interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. So there's hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Yeah, cutting them carefully and skillfully. So, actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive. The action goes better than expected. Neutral. The action succeeds. Negative. It fails. So, action dice affect the outcomes as follows. So, if you put in a 6, it's 100% chance positive. 5, it's 50-50 for good or neutral. A 3 or 4 is 25% chance positive, 50% chance neutral, and then 25% chance negative. So overall, that still means you're getting about a 75% chance of success at the very least, though the level of success is dependent on what you choose. And then 1 and 2 is 50-50 for neutral or negative. That's an interesting thing. I like this system. All right. Type, either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Repeatable means you can try again and again. So I suppose in another tabletop campaign, you know, maybe you're trying to hack down a tree or something, and you can probably try the same action multiple times. However, a critical would probably be if you're doing something that can only be done once. Maybe hitting a target of some sort. So there's also risk. Safe, risky, or danger. Safe, no loss to condition, energy, or cryo. Risky. Negative outcomes means cryo energy loss. Negative outcomes mean condition loss. Neutral outcome means cryo energy loss. So the interesting thing is, I remember yellow being very positive last time. I think maybe it would make sense to switch these colors, because gold was the best option last time and yellow was the mediocre one, or the one in the middle. Oh well. Skill. Skill data for the action required. Engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier, either -1, 0, 1, or 2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. So, in other words, you must have some skill in something to perform certain actions. Yeah, so very much like a tabletop RPG. All right, so we have the repeatable actions of manual salvage or hull dissection. So this one's risky, this one's fairly safe. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you're no stranger to hard labor. And even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Well, I think I have bad endurance as far as I remember. And I'm not an engineer as far as I recall. Because I see I have a -1 here. And I have... so do I want to take the risky option? So there's debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly. And if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. And back in business, every salvager knows that they're always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. I don't know. I don't like the fact that I have a -1 there. So I have 2 6s, a 2, and a 3. I think I'm going to want to ensure that I have a good positive action. Let's start the action. All right. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your... Yes, so we have 2 slots there. Track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something, good or bad, is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves one each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. All right. Yeah, so we do have some stuff for him. And it looks like these are repeatable. So do I just want to keep doing this? I'll only be able to do so much work. Ooh, survive, find a doctor. In Citizen Sleeper, you unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on a location that will help you pursue a goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. So survive, find a doctor. Alright, you're now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food and keep your energy up and find a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you're out of dice. Good luck. Right. So we're halfway to back in business and such. I probably don't want to use any more dice here. So let's see what find a doctor. Active. We do have survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. Definitely want to track that. Repay Dragos. Well, we haven't repaid Dragos yet, but we're partway there. I think we're doing fairly well. Let's leave for now. And let's see this doctor. Hellion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Hellion system are rare, but those that do always return. Eventually. Okay. So, what do I do here? Unless there's more... Ah, here we go. Rotunda Wet Dock. An old dock terminal. Bright Market. Bustling open market. Passage to the low end. Whatever that's supposed to mean. Shipyard. Wow, this is quite the ship. Though I suppose we're only on this particular branch of it. So there doesn't seem to be anything there. Let's go look at the rotunda. Ooh, steel dock plans. Explore the rotunda. Risky. Rotunda of the old dock is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. Ooh, I wonder what that would be. Salvage sortie. It takes several cycles to reach the starboard belt and return, loaded with scrap and old wrecks. Nothing to do here yet. Bright Market. Asking for directions is dangerous? Why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work within Bright Market? All you need is the courage to approach them. Explore the market. Smells, sounds, and buzzing activity of the Bright Market make a dizzying space to wander, but an enticing one too. I don't know. I have some money, and we still need to find someone who might sell the pharmaceuticals. Well, let's try. Please work. What? Negative outcome. Lost in the crowd, you struggle to keep a sense of direction. You sit in an alley exhausted with no idea where to go. I don't know. At this point, we're low on energy and only have that too. So maybe we just want to go back home. That feels like a very uneventful day. Yeah, I mean, at least we've recovered some salvage. Assist a shipbuilder. That's risky and that's dangerous. I feel like I need to bring back my energy. Let's end the cycle. We still need to find a doctor, though. I was hoping it would be at the Bright Market. Oh! This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. It's because we're starving, isn't it? For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging at the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extensions, as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes that they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Observe it or touch it? Let's observe. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see, feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow, it is pulling in two directions at once. Look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Items. Well, we have 30. We don't have any upgrade points. We only have a 5 and 2 2s. And we're starving. Anywhere we can find food? I would hope it would be in a place flashing yellow. And these are things that might be running out. The yellow might be where we find the doctor. But there is something flashing here. They've imposed a toll for entry, at least that's what they say. Ooh. Now we can't pay a 60 toll. Let's go to the Bright Market again. Ah, this is dangerous. I don't know. I feel like we need to ask for directions. But I'm gonna starve if this fails. Let's see what happens. Local knowledge, positive outcome. You end up at a drink stall, debating the finer points of the Solheim collapse. You try to remember all the tips your companions offer you. Local knowledge. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything. Anything and everything here. Okay, I'm starting to fade. Can I find a person? Oh, Sabine, the slum doctor. Yes, finally. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue. Try not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you're not so sure. The gang enforcer at the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying Havelock. They have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizers for this body, your body will You suppress a shiver and shuffle towards the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look at the Enforcer. The Enforcer is looking down the corridor and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry through those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers, you aren't so sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoos on his arms, but you make note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. Ah, so maybe he has weapons embedded in his arms. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The Enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheet at the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come, sit, a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turn away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. So, Sabine, doctor in the bright market. The figure turns as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit. They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. Well, it's probably because they know what you are. How long have you been at the station? They ask, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying, they say without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. S&ARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent the bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which S&ARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you're unsure if they meant for the cold touch of the metal or for everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. And S&ARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. Hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They're influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Thank you. I could have asked why, but I have a feeling that doctors, at least on Earth, I should say, real life, they are obligated to help. It's part of their pledge, their oath. Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Wait, but I'm starving and I'm slightly fading, I suppose. But I need food. Ord Exchange is their food. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, that's not ready yet. Can I get food at home? Street food vendor. Yes, please. An imposing street food vendor. Definitely, I'm seeing mushrooms and some maybe green onions and leafy vegetables, fruits of some sort. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in some red-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. Ooh. So, mushrooms and vegetables in a potentially spicy sauce? You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over their payments. I mean, I should probably approach? You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually, it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Memphis speaks in deep, even tone, without even looking up. First try's free. Really? Really? The first try is free? Thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy, the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. Oh, I wonder if that's because of the light? It's probably to protect yourself. I know you. You sleepers, Memphis says, while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life. A lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Okay, tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye. Then he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility, and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and the dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you've once had, but you can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you trail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time, we can talk some more. He smiles, but next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and the impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. So that's what these are. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweetened fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. You'll be back. Yes. Must be really good food. Yes! We're not starving. We have some food. Okay. Yeah, Sabine might not be able to have any stabilizer until a day or so has passed. So at least we know where food is. We know where the medicine is. Ooh. Yeah, Dragos. He'll need some help. This is the manual salvage, which is safe? I don't know. I feel like I should try. Oh no! Wait a minute. That's what I have a -1 on. Oh. Oh no. So 50 positive, 50 negative. Yeah, the debt's going to be called in, but that's a ways away. I feel like I shouldn't risk myself quite yet. I don't like how risky that is. I could get damaged. Is there anything else that I could do relatively safely? Yeah, that's also a -1. Assist a shipbuilder. Yeah, you don't have connections, but you do have skills. You can get a shipbuilder to know something. You might be in. The only way to know the shipyard is to work there. No tourists here. I'll try. Please be good. Please. No. Really? I lost that much energy? Why do I even try? Why? Okay. This is it. I'm probably going to be hungry tomorrow. But let's end the cycle. Let's get some new dice. Unless, wait, because my energy is low, do I only get so many dice? Oh gosh, I'm starving again. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparks with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the glow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath the transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, and then leaping off into the void. You begin to understand these are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops, that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. Focus on the threads or focus on the nodes? Let's focus on the threads. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. They're not single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here. So many answers. So many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you first. The first thread leads out, away from the station and into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They're in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. Oh, so that might be the ARP people coming for you. But then there's some kind of entity in the station, too. You open your eyes. Time is short. We have a 6, a 1, and a 2. Hunted. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. So maybe we'll have to get off the station before. Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data, but be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Ooh. So I see a bunch of data. Keynode. The gate. An agent. Another keynode. The Solheim gate. Another keynode. Yatagan agent. So that's that crime lord. Who is Havenage? Let's look at this keynode. A lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. So 1,000 days? Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the Eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right. To the right of the action, so we have to have the right number. Oh, if you have a +1 or a +2 modifier in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. Ooh, yes, this is precisely why I chose the class that I did. I believe I have interface skills. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. So I need to match one, but I could... This should be good, right? Match input. Access protocols or bypass. Yeah, I can't put this one in there because it's not the same. All right, let's bypass. Unlocked. Let's extract the data. Working. Go. We got an encrypted key. A stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglocks. Ooh. What maglocks can I open? Data here is part of the cache. I mean, I do have the right input. Let's see. Tucked away during the collapse. Who hid this and for what purpose? Let's extract the data here. Another encrypted key. Neutral outcome. So we have 2 encrypted keys. That's fun. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. Oh, is this the station itself? The thing that was potentially tasting you, the giant sphere? You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. Stay still. Please hold. Wait! This is a hunter? Sentient protocol unraveling. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circling around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you, or what did you do? What did you do? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, lithe, I believe, though there is no ground on which to pace on. Entity. Identify. Origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. So there's sleeper, S and R. I don't understand, or stay silent. I don't know. If it's a hunter, I'm going to say silent. Refusal. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature. Of and not of. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head, thick, snaking like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. I don't like this. I can tell it to stop, but I might want to run. You kick off and glide away through the cloud, the threads surging after like predatory tentacles. They follow, wrapping the space around you until you are held within a web. A tangle of tentacles closing in. Stop! The hunter halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of you, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed dock. Wait, there's a sealed dock? Their taste? Are there more sleepers here? Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Wait a minute. The other thing that was glimmering and potentially trying to contact us is in the rotunda. And it might be trying to reach out. The hunter extends a razor-edged thread. Ah, it's going to try to cut us. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike! You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Hunter. Maybe the more that we spend time in cyberspace, the more likely it is to see us. So I think we should go back to the waking world. Ooh, that is really cool. And the music is picking up, obviously. So we're being pursued by the evil corporation. If we enter this web, there are other programs and things potentially trying to find our character, but there's another one like you that smells like you. Is it what was in the rotunda? The gate, the Ort Exchange, dock. There's the rotunda. Well, because there's steal the dock plans. Explore the rotunda, which is risky, but I need to focus on food first, unfortunately. Order fungus. Okay, good. It's 15. We're a fungus fan. Emphas doesn't trust people easily, but he knows his regular customers in his own quiet way. So maybe if we eat with him 4 times, we gain his trust. Start action. Let's get food. All right. Plus energy, fungus fan, and we have food now. All right. So that brings us up a bit. It gave us more than 2. She's gonna take a while. 2 more cycles, I believe. So Drago has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cycles. We have a number of cycles before the hunters come for us. So we have getting to know Emphas, which we just need to eat with him 3 more times. Build a ship mine. You've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a shipment core. Repay Dragos for his help. Yeah, we might as well try to do that a little bit more. Yeah, might as well try this. Gonna have 100% positive action unless I want to do this. Oh, but it brings me down. No. I'd rather do this. Let's try to repay him. Okay, let's go. Start action. Can I? There we go. Maybe it was because I had that menu open. Alright, so we have 15 more, which means we have more food. Back in business. Every salvager knows they're always one lucky haul away from their next payday. So I wonder if we are going to find something special here. But how do we pay him? Can we find Dragos somewhere? That's the Rotunda wet dock. I can't seem to use that here, which is unfortunate. Yep, can't do anything there. Yeah, there was something else over there in the other realm. Either way, I have no dice, so I probably won't be able to do other actions. Could I use this? No. So I won't be able to go to low end anytime soon. I could sell components, but I don't seem to have any components. Maybe I need to do the other salvage in order to get those. Yeah, so if we end tonight, we're probably going to have this go. Let's end the cycle. Well, this is really intriguing. Oh. 2 and 1, 1? That's terrible. Oh. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up! Turn. Oh, wait. Feng? As you close up, okay. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his face. Hey, glad I caught you. I wonder who this is. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Yeah, who is Erlin? You pass together into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erlin? He's the founder of this place. And that's why it bears his name. Havenage should organize some seminars. He laughs. Not my department, though. I'm with systems. Yeah, what is Havenage? But I do think the systems are interesting, too. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand across the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keeps it spinning somehow. At least we try. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around and, well, I know a little bit about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around. But, well, this isn't the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, and then, when you're settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. Ooh. Does he know that you can see into the network with the eye and everything else? Because if he's familiar with the systems, he might be familiar with their abilities. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Well, stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Ah, interesting. What does he mean by across the way? Well, either way, shipyard work, not very good. I wish I could upgrade. When am I gonna finally get some more points? Yep, not much there. Ooh, music's fun too. Now, I could do some hacking if the hunter doesn't find me. Well, either way, I need food. Yeah, let's put more of this in. I'll have to do work another day. All right. Your mouth stings as your sensorium sends you warning signals over and over. This is the good stuff. Yeah, we don't have enough money for that. She's going to be done with the medicine at some point. So I don't know. Let's go into the cyberverse. Solheim Gate, the Havenage Agent. We've already done that node. What gate is this? What does it need? We need a cipher. So no, we don't have that. An agent. I do have a 2 to match it. A Havenage member is broadcasting on the open network from here, leaving them open for data extraction. Ooh, that would be interesting. The Solheim Gate. They also need a cipher. So the gates need ciphers. Oh, another keynode? It needs a 3 input and I don't have that, unfortunately. Another keynode? I like keynodes. Ooh, so I can do these two. A node pulses faintly as it mines cryo at a glacial pace, abandoned by the hacker that repurposed it. Oh, I need money. Bypass. Oh, it only gave us 5. Let's extract the data. And we got another encrypted key, but where can we use these encryption keys? Oh, see, the hunter is 1 step. Yeah, I don't have the right one for that, unless I can use it too. But I want to see what this guy is up to. All right. Let's extract the data. What is the Havenage agent doing? Havenage data. A cache of raw data from Havenage hardware. Yeah, and we're at 2 points for the hunter, so maybe the hunter returns if we aren't careful. We needed a 2 match. So, looks like we have to leave cyberspace for now. But I wonder if someone has a use for Havenage data. Maybe at the exchange? Play the exchange. Nope. I'm not that into gambling at all. So I really only have a 1. What can I do with the 1? Yeah, I wonder if this is what I need. I need to do 2 more of these in order to help him. The problem is I have a 50-50 chance with that, and it could hurt me too. Maybe I'll wait. Yeah, because those are risky. I suppose let's go back to sleep. I don't like having a die left over. But what else can I do? Let's end the cycle. And we'll see what Sabine has to say. Alright, I have a 5, a 2, and a 1. Yeah, either way, I'm gonna have to get food. I'm gonna have to mine. Alright, so we're full on energy. We're good there. Let's go to Sabine. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick up one, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yadagan... they trailed off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Passcodes? In very basic terms, yes. They sigh. Look, what matters here is that the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least, if the stabilizer is genuine, the only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I'll start with a small dose, to limit the risk. I don't really have much of a choice. So, okay, let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe, and you watch as if any sign might emerge from that clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? What happened? The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yadagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more. But you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes for free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Ooh, so I wonder how much it will cost. 100? Ooh, but I suppose that's the stabilizer. So that's when this starts going down. So food is more pressing and we need 15 each day. But yeah. So we need 100. How am I going to make that much money? I barely made enough money from all the salvage. Ooh, what's this? Oh. So we can buy scrap allowances, unload containers. Oh. I'm not really strong. So I can't do that yet. And I could play, but I'm not much for risk. I should probably go help. Oh, actually, there's Feng there. Are they ready to speak? Sleeper! Feng catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know, I wonder if I could have held off on seeing Sabine until later and then have gotten my bar to full. Oh well. He slams the button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with a blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blend into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? What is all this? He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems that we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. Oh, I can imagine. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, A1, one of the Solheim built. Wait, the one Solheim built? We've had to invent new components, repair things that we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think that they're seeing a constant concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks as you follow. We're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines. They hum all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place back up like a beacon, and that's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run, though. They are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place, break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Havenage, there's old growth. Those whose roots trace back to those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. I mean, quite frankly, if he's the one that's going to be able to cut this off, and he seems to want to, cut the station off from the corporations. Sure. I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift! He smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate, and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. Ooh, I did need a cipher. He walks you back to the front of the bank. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data that you bring me. I know you need it. Ooh, yes. And because my character is not built for heavy labor and is better at hacking, I am built for this. Thank you so much, Feng. I actually have a means to make money in this universe now. Continue. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, sleeper. And I'll see you soon. You step, blinking back into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Yes, I have a means to make money. Yes, so now I have a Solheim cipher. I have encryption keys, and I have Havenage data. Let's go see what's at Feng's Bay. Yeah, so delivered data. So the data will look like this. I mean, I have Havenage data, but this is pay well for Solheim data. See, I have Havenage data, so that's not going to slot in. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm still going to need to help with Drago's yard at some point. Well, I'm all fed. Everything looks good. So, yeah, let's step into the cyberverse. But this is a Havenage cipher. I have a Solheim one. So Solheim is at the middle of the ship, I believe? That's a Havenage agent. They require 2, which I do have. Another Havenage agent, also a 2. There is a Solheim gate and a keynode. Ooh, a 3. Don't have that currently. Unless I can put a 2 there and it counts. Yagatan agent. Ooh, they have a 1. I'm curious. Unless... No, I should see the Solheim gate first. Yeah, let's use it. This gate conceals a network of systems which have all been untouched since the Solheim collapse. Yeah, who were the people behind the Solheim if this is an ancient station and it was built by the Solheim? Let's start the action. With a squawk of noise, the old gate flips open, granting access. Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of nodes, and this is why I wanted to save all my other. So there's AE, AE, and AE. Interesting. Ooh, a 4. This network's... Oh, but I can potentially use a 2? This network storage holds corporate records, most of them corrupted by a failed system purge. So I can do 2 or 3 for this. A Solheim demon. A daemon attempts to protect this node, squeaking out protective protocols like a mantra. Ooh, interesting. So there's something protecting that one. This node is leaking corrupted contractor lists from early days of the system's palladium rush. Ooh, palladium being a metal. Input, yeah, I can do a 1 on that one. And 3 or 2. This node is orbited by the remains of a corporate countermeasure broken long ago by hackers. Well, I'll do this one first because I have a 1 that I can use it with. So I got some money. Let's extract the data. And we got some Solheim data. Okay. Now I can only do a 2 on one of these. So there's the one with the countermeasure that was broken long ago. Corporate records. Will this work? Because I do have this second bypass. But corrupted by a failed system purge, but at least it hasn't been hacked before. Let's extract the data here. More Solheim data. So I'll have to come back another day. Ooh, the hunter is on high alert. Time to get out of the system. Let's go back to Feng and see what he thinks of this data. Let's see. He'll pay for it. How much does he give me? Ooh, 15. That's good. Feng's eyes light up as the data is transferred over. He hands you a stack of chits and waves you off. Let's do this again. Scoping the systems. Alright, another 15. Right. So I don't have any more Solheim data. I have Havenage data. Now, I am going to need to help Drago a bit more. So there's the manual salvage and then there's the hull. I don't like the idea of there being failure. Let's do this one. All right. Oh, we're complete here. Every salvager knows they can just one lucky haul away from their next payday. So will this be enough to help Drago? Drago. There we go. Or Dragos. As you arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard, red blinking lights flash across the vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes into the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focusing on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the shipyard. What is it? Dragos laughs. That, my friend, is grade A scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft, and you can't help but also think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. Wait, is he salvaging things and then he's paying things on credit for them on credit, which means he's just incurring more debt? Dragos, why? Credit? Oh, we may have done well, but we can't afford a down payment on this one. He pats you on the shoulder. Don't worry. We'll make it back once we chop this beauty up. Oh, you sigh. But Dragos doesn't seem to notice. Yeah, so essentially he's buying things to scrap in the hopes that he makes more scrapping it than what he paid for it. And that's how he gets into debt. Dragos, no. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of the dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of an S&ARP freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side, the Winter Light. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Yeah, are there battles between different ships and such? I'm curious. Achievement unlocked. Paid off. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu via the arrow button at the top of the screen. Yes, upgrades available. But first I should probably look at what upgrades do I even want. It looks like I'll be able to pay the lowland toll at some point. I'm all fine with food. I'll need to save up for that. Now it looks like this is what requires Intuit. So that's something to keep in mind. What does the scrap freighter require? Buying scrap, and then there's that endurance. Ah, the endurance always gets me. Yeah, the merchants aren't ready yet. And this is, oh, Intuit, forensic trawl, and engineering. And what else do I have? Feng's Bay is just selling him stuff. The shipyard. That's endure and engineer. So it looks like I'm needing engineering or Intuit. What about in the other realm? Yeah, I would need the proper cipher for that. And I'm already good with hacking. Because having that interference, being able to have 2 different nodes, I wonder if I upgraded my my hacking skills, if I'd be able to do more. Well, upgrades available. So, chance to gain random scrap from engineering actions. Ooh. That's +2. 2 upgrade points. So yeah, I have interface so far. Endure is and hard to kill. Ooh. Display potential positives and negative outcomes. Engage. Chance to gain energy after any engage action. All cryo actions are discounted by 20. So I'd be really good at haggling, which means I'd be able to bring things down. But I think I only have 1 upgrade point. So I can give double data rewards. Oh. I wonder if that means I get more money from Feng. So I'm leaning towards engineering. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. Random scrap from engineering actions. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm thinking Intuit or Icebreaker. I can't do that. So let's do this one. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. That means that I'll be better able to gauge whether or not a risky situation is truly worth it. Well, that's good. Buy a vial of stabilizer. Well, I won't be able to for a while. Build a ship mine, disable your tracker. Help Feng chase his leads. Extract the past. Well, I've been doing a pretty good job, but I'll need more dice for that. Get to know Emphist, study the Winterlight, investigate the wreckage. Yeah, I suppose I could do that. But I don't have anything. So, yeah, maybe I really do just have to sleep again. I'm all spent. End cycle. I'm loving this. I just want to continue. See where the story leads. Ooh, yes. Because I'm stable, maybe this is the bar that determines how many dice you get. So now I have a 6, a 4, 2 2s, and a 1. I still have a lot of these encrypted keys. Able to... I haven't encountered any maglocks yet. So let's see what I'll need for the shipyard. Yeah, because I would like to do the forensic trawl, but maybe the data is what I need more of. Solheim node. So this one's a 3 or a 2, which I do have. And this one's a 2 or a 3, which I do have. I think I'll do the less risky one for the time being. And I'll see what happens. There we go. Alright. Neutral outcome, encrypted key. Wait, I got an encrypted key? I didn't actually get any data? I wonder what happens when I get to this mode. I don't know. Do I have to fight it off again? Maybe. Let's try. I got Solheim data. Am I going to be attacked by the hunter? A glimmer in the dark catches your eye as the orb of the hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking for you. Let's hide. Can I hide? You slip down to the ghostly structures of the eye, a feeling like passing through a cloud as their data structures deform and reform around you. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer now. That roving orb wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is there. The hunter is here. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you. In that unpleasantly familiar way, its waving threads creating a cage. Struggle. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You're caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing. Comes the scream from behind. Urshika, hold for processing! Ooh. But you are already gliding away, back to your anchor, to your body. You wake, dizzy, distorted, but safe. Did that bar go down? Maybe it did. Well, I don't have the proper things for that gate. And while I could hack more people for data, not that person. Oh, really? Looks like I can't find the Agaton people today. Well, let's go see if it was worth it for Feng. Data. $15 cryo. Scoping the systems. Yeah, we're done, pretty much. Does he have anything to say? As you enter the bay, Feng is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Ah, shitheads! Feng's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by a hammer of a fist on the metal casing. These snaky shitheads. Oh, who's snaky? Maybe I'll stay silent. Sleeper? Is that you or am I in trouble? Feng's grinning head pops up from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I have been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Feng is sat in front of a set of monitors, mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what did you see here? Or what do you see here? Feng waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal information. Names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. People? People, yes, but whose people? Solheim, because we've been collecting Solheim information, not Havenage. Solheim. Bingo! He taps the terminal. I pulled these from the old data that you brought in. All the employees of the Eye's original owners, and... He leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs the screen with a finger. His name reads Hardin Hurst. Who's Hardin? That, says Feng, giving you a sideways look, is the thing. He drags a stool out from beside him and motions for you to sit. There is just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. In Havenage? That's it. He's right here on the station now. Feng leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Feng leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Feng raises his eyebrow at you. R. Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure that the extractors they contracted out were hooked up to a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work that they did went straight back into Solheim. Okay, how do you know this? And yeah, the thing is, yeah, definitely profiteering, probably not benefiting the people, but how do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I'm a child of the collapse. Oh, the Solheim collapse. Feng turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked in Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air and slept in Solheim beds. Feng's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal's edge. And the work that paid for that existence, the cycles of hard extraction out in the belt, Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors, willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. Ouch. This kind of sounds like America and much of the working class now being contractors. I suppose for context, there's a lot of contractors and gig economy workers. Think people that ferry people around or ship things and whatnot. They're not actual employees. They don't have all of the old benefits that people used to have, especially with unionized work. In the past, you were given days off, pensions, maternity leave, raises, bonuses, things like that, and often some protections. And with contractors, they're given none of those benefits for the most part, and they can just cut you loose, which is why he's saying, yeah, disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? Surely it can't be him. Yeah, is he immortal? Did he just put his consciousness into the system? But how? These guys, they were big time. There's a lot money can get you if you're a company man. Feng relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So we're going to find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back, around the eye from here. Feng brings up a map of the lower eye. Havenage might be born out of Erland's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Feng zooms in on the far yards. Feng grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid, and they don't like anyone from the systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Feng holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Feng puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Feng grins. If you can extract yourself a Havenage cipher from a Havenage agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You'll never even have to go near the shipyards. Ooh, I'm a hacker. I can do that. So what do you say? You up for it? Yes. I knew it. I knew you'd be happy to catch this snake. And don't worry, once we nail this guy, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. I haven't forgotten. Feng scratches his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send it right back here. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Feng digging through the data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea that you're intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. Well then, I think that's a great stopping point. I could still play so much more of this, but wow. Yeah, having this story unfold. So being taken from this shipping container and helping out Dragos, whose unfortunate business practices mean that he's pulling in scrap that he can't afford and then you have to pay back all the debt, but I can excuse him for that. Yeah, dealing with Sabine and having to get the medicines that you remain stable, and her dealings with this black market crime lord guy. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that takes us, because that would be the low end. I would like to see more of the chef. We'll definitely have to eat more of that spicy mushrooms stir fry that he has. And yeah, I absolutely love the hacking mechanism. I'm glad I went with the hacker. Being able to use my dice more effectively in that regard means that I can have access to so much more data, which definitely helps me with Feng, but then also just uncover the secrets of this ship. And yeah, just the whole story of your character selling their physical body and becoming this machine being, and then being on the run from this corporation, and how it might be tied to all of this. I hope that we do find a means to, yeah, remove the tracker so that you're no longer hunted. Figure out why you can interface with the ship so well, and then, yeah, help the people of this station separate from this corporate past and servitude. Yeah, it's great. I absolutely love this. Definitely ticks all the boxes for an RPG, and I like the decisions, I like the writing, the dice system, if you will. Having that limited pool, but then being able to slot them in and going through the cycles of each day and having to maintain these other bars. Definitely an intriguing RPG experience. I love the illustrations and all of the work that they put into it, and I can't wait to see what full game has in store. Wander and I will definitely be continuing this on our own, but if you're interested in seeing more for yourself, you can get Citizen Sleeper on Steam, Good Old Games, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, a whole host of places. So once again, thank Jump Over the Age and fellow traveler for providing us with the key, and thanks to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time.